Hi guys, how you all doing? Welcome back to my channel. If you're seeing this face for the first time, you're welcome. So guys, I'm going to be talking about a very interesting topic, but I wrote down some points I'm going to be sharing with you guys. So what we're talking about today is how to survive the first 5 years of marriage, and this is mainly for young people. This is tips that I've gone through in my own marriage that I can talk about, like comfortably talk about, that can help you in your marriage. So I got married at a very early age, and the thing about this marriage is there's no manual. You learn on the job. Like, you learn where you are in it. So most of the things I've learned so far, these are things I was able to experience. So now I can comfortably talk about it and say, oh, at this stage, I went through this, and this was what I did that kind of helped me. Yeah, so the first thing on my list that I wrote down is keep your in-laws, parents, siblings out of your home. So this is a very interesting one. When it comes to marriage, you guys are going to have issues over and over again. And the minute you start bringing in your in-laws, your family, your siblings, there's going to be a problem, because the first year tends to be the hardest. And this is two people coming in to understand each other, to know what I like, to know what he likes. And you're telling your mom, oh, he did this, he did that. That's not going to work, because you guys are eventually going to sort out your differences. But your mom is not going to forget it. Your siblings will never forget it. You know, so you bringing them in and telling them every single thing going on, like, oh, my partner does this and I don't like it. You know, you're just going to make them start looking at him with that eye. And trust me, you do not want that. You don't want them to start looking at him like he's a bad person, because typically marriage is two people coming together to understand themselves. Look at it from this way. He was raised from a different background. You were raised from a different background. There are certain things that he was taught that you were never taught. There are certain characters and beliefs that he have that it doesn't even make sense to you. So for a marriage to work, you guys have to get to that point where you understand yourself. Like, okay, in my marriage, this works for us. But before you get to that point, there are going to be arguments. There are going to be quarrels. You know, and it's not a one-time thing. It's going to keep happening. So how many do you want to keep calling your parents, your siblings, and just reporting him? So it's never a good idea to bring in the parents. For me, in my marriage, we just kind of agreed that there would not be a third party. Third party could be anybody. It could be family. It could be friends. Nobody. So within these 5 years, we've had arguments. We've had series of back and front. Let me put it that way. But at the end of the day, we got to points. We got to an agreement. And now we think about those things and we just laugh about it. Like, oh, remember that time you used to do this, you know? But now we understand each other. So imagine if I was calling my mom and telling her, oh, he did this, he did that. Trust me, we'll not be where we are today, because the minute you have people having their own opinion, different opinions about your marriage, trust me, there's going to be a problem. And this is your marriage. It's not about them. You're going to be the one that is going to be in the marriage. So you have to just figure that out. So no third party. But the second one, love grows in years. Yes, love takes time. Love takes time. You don't expect to love. The level of love you have for a person for the first year is quite different from the love you have for the person in the 5th year. So love takes time. It gets better with time. Yes, that is true. It gets better with time. The way you love a person from the starting, because they're going to annoy you. because they're going to get on your nerves, because they're going to do things and you'll be like, how did I get here with this person? Like, what am I doing here? But with time, patience, you're going to agree to disagree. And with time, all of these things you guys go through together, over time, that is going to make you guys get more into each other. Like, for instance, the process of having kids, during childbirth, financial challenges, all of that is going to build your bond together, and that bond is going to turn into like love. Like, you're going to love your partner, and that first year might be like, that excitement is not always going to be there. There are times you're not going to feel anything like love. At times, what you're going to feel is hunger. At times, what you're going to feel is frustration. But give it time. Trust me, everything is better with time. And love is better with time. It just gets better. Like, I can remember the first year when I met my husband. The first year is always the hardest. We argue, there are times we are so excited. There are times, that butterfly, being with this person and knowing that you're going to spend the rest of your life with this person. Yes, it's all good. And there are times you're going to be like, I don't feel love right now. It's okay. It's definitely okay. That is all the process. And it's been years now, and I can boldly say what I feel for my partner right now is way stronger than what I felt in the first year. So whatever you're going through right now in your marriage, trust me, is normal. But give it time. Give it time. Just give it time. Be patient. And trust me, with time, you're going to look back and be like, oh, wow, I actually do love this man now more than what I did in the first year. Yes, so love gets better with time. So number 3 is, people may accuse your wife of charming you with juju, like vice versa. People might think, like you're controlling this person. They might think, oh, what did this lady do to this person? How come he's all over her? How come he always wants to be with her? But it's normal. When it comes to marriage, it's a partnership between 2 people. It's not for 3 people. It shouldn't be a problem that the third person or people around you or your friends or your family don't understand what you guys are going through, because it is between both of you. So it might get to a point, his friends or our friends might start feeling like, oh, they don't jazz this one. Oh. If you're not Nigerian, jazz is just like saying the wife or the husband has kind of done something to control this person's mind, because they feel like you're acting crazy or you're not thinking with your right senses anymore. Something like that. But trust me, it's all... When you are into that person, trust me, you want to, before you take any decision, you want to talk to your partner. There's nothing wrong in doing that. You hear some people saying, okay, let me discuss with my wife and I'll get back to you. And that throws some people off, like, are you not the man? Why do you want to hear from her first? Why do you need our opinion? But in the real sense of it, except that man is... I don't know, not everybody has that in their marriage, but typically there is nothing wrong in hearing from your partner before you make a decision. There's nothing absolutely wrong. Typical African men feels like, oh, I'm the man, I'm the head of the house, I don't need to hear from my wife, I got this. Or you want to go out and you feel it's not necessary for you to talk to your wife. Oh, babe, I'm hanging out with the guys, and this is where we're going. There is nothing wrong with that. And same thing applies to the wife. There is nothing wrong in seeking your partner or being so close to your partner that you want to seek that person's permission, or, just share with that person your decisions before you just take. You don't just go up, you don't just get up and take decisions. That is marriage. Now it's not all about you. You cannot just get up and go. You have to consider the other person, and that is how it's supposed to be. If in your marriage, your partner doesn't regard you or carry you along, or he doesn't consider you and just make decisions on his own, trust me, there's a problem. Yes, there is a problem. Is supposed to, or she's supposed to carry you along. That is what marriage is all about. It's not just one anymore. It's two people coming together to make it work. So if anybody is saying, oh, this guy is acting like this, his wife is controlling, let them say. Let them say whatever they want to say. It's not your business that they don't understand they don't understand your marriage. Your marriage is for two people, remember, not for three people. So the fourth one, always seek your wife's opinion or husband's opinion on financial matters. Yes, finances tend to be one of the biggest things in marriage, and finances can break or make a marriage. So when you want to make a decision, or you want to get a new car, or you want to take out from like your family savings or something, it is only right to discuss it with your partner. Regardless of whoever is making the most money in the marriage. It could be the man, it could be the woman. It doesn't matter. But you have to carry your partner along. You cannot say, oh, because I'm the man, I'm the head of the house, I want to start up a project, and you just take out money without informing your wife. That's wrong. There's going to be a problem, And it's not about you seeking consent from her. Trust me, they say two heads are better than one. There's certain things, the way you see it and the way your wife is going to see it is quite different. Women have better thinking than men. Take it or leave it, I'm telling you. Women have better thinking than men. What you might think, oh, I would just run like I'm just going to do this and do that. But the woman will be like, think this thing well. If we start now, do we have enough to carry us through? Do we have enough to see us through this project? She would look at it from a different angle. So what you might see just on your own, when you discuss it with your wife, trust me, she will definitely see from a different angle. And same thing applies to a woman. It doesn't matter if you're the one making the most money in the marriage. You can just get up and do some expenses without carrying your husband along. Trust me, it is absolutely wrong. When it comes to finances, when it comes to marriage and money, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It can make or break the marriage. So always carry your partner along. Discuss it, sit down, talk about it, analyze it, take your time. Because I can tell you from experience that most times when you want to do things on your own, you tend to make mistakes and you regret it at the end of the day. So talk to your wife. Women knows better. You men will not agree, but trust me, women know better. Carry her along. Now you guys are a team. It's not just about you, it's about two people coming together to make it work. Yes. So the next one is no secrets. And this is number 6 point. No secrets. Any kind of secrets like coming to your head now, just let it out. That first year, let it out. It might be little things you feel like. I'm not saying talk about your past or the kind of life you lived before you got married, Everybody had a life before they got married, but now you're married and there's certain things you feel you should talk to your wife about or you should talk to your husband about. It's just the right thing to do, and it's better you discuss it with your partner than them finding out, and that can break a marriage. I've seen it before. It's happening. It has happened. It's still going to happen. Like, just let it out, really. And trust me, you might think, oh, I don't want to bring in my past, but there are some things you cannot just sweep under the carpet. There are some things you just talk to your partner about it. Trust me, it's no big deal. You might be feeling like, oh, it's your past, let it stay that way. But some significant ones that oh, if this person's find out, it doesn't just make any sense. No secrets is better. Like, you just have that peace of mind. Marriage is stressful. You have a lot to think about, and you nursing one's secrets, it doesn't make any sense. For example, a man before you got married, you had a child. That's a huge one though. I don't see any reason why anybody want to keep that kind of huge information away from your wife. And you had a child, even though if you're no longer with the lady, it's a child. That's a whole human being involved. You should tell your wife about it. It was in your past, yes, but she should know. And that also applies to the woman. Oh, you had a child before you got married, regardless of how it happened, that's a whole human being involved. That's a child. You shouldn't keep such secrets away from your partner. Just talk to him about it. Oh, there's something you should know. I think the person's even supposed to know before the marriage, because that's huge, Not everybody wants to be in a situation like that. So it's better you just let them know. If the person loves you enough, they're going to stay. And you trust me, you don't want to carry that burden in your heart during the process of the marriage. It's just going to mess things up. So no secrets in marriage. Trust me, you don't want to do it. Number 7, this one is packed. Be patient, be submissive, and be respectful. This applies for both ways, both to the man, to the woman. When it comes to marriage, one thing I can always remember is my mom always told me, you have to be patient. When it comes to marriage, you have to be patient. There's no two-way about it. And coming from the kind of person I am, before I got married, I'm this kind of person, I don't have time. I get tired of things and people easily. And maybe because I started life at a very young age, I started working, doing my thing on my own, making small change, making small money. So I was pretty much, I wouldn't say independent, but I was doing my own thing. Let me put it that way. I was doing my own thing. So I didn't really have time. Once I'm tired, I'm tired. That was me. But when it comes to marriage, this is a lifelong journey. This is a lifelong journey. You just have to be patient. Because this person will annoy you. This person will frustrate you. This person will get on your nerves. And if you're that person that has anger issues, oh my God, I remember I used to be so angry. I can get angry and I'm boiling. I can get angry and I'll spoil everything. That's how I used to be. But I don't know how I got this calm. That is marriage. And it didn't just happen overnight. I worked. It was something I worked on. I want this. Marriage is something that I want, and I was willing to put in the work for it to work. Don't say, oh, you are just lucky with your marriage. There is nothing like luck in marriage. Marriage is work. You have to put in the work. I pray for grace, Grace, yes, there is grace. You can pray for grace, but trust me, there is so much work. You cannot be a man and say, oh, this is just how I am. I'm angry. That cannot just be how you are, because you are dealing with another human being. And if you really want the marriage to work, you have to be patient. You cannot be a angry person and expect your marriage to work. So it applies for both ways. You have to be patient. You have to be submissive. I'm not in the group of those women that say, oh, feminists, their own feminists is you don't respect your husband. You cannot submit to your husband. I don't want to get into this argument because it's a very long one. But trust me, when it comes to marriage, the man is the head. He's the head. And there is no two way about it. Every man wants to be loved. Every man wants to be respected. And every man wants a submissive woman. A submissive woman doesn't mean you should kiss his ass or you should lick his toes. A submissive woman is the way you talk to your husband. You wouldn't talk to your husband like a child. You wouldn't treat your husband like a child. You are submissive. That this submission of a thing is very deep, but trust me, being submissive is not that hard. Being submissive as a wife is not that hard, but it's just the society we are in. and they just make submissiveness being something really difficult. If you love your husband, you will submit to him. It wasn't really hard for me. I had to work on my patience. I had to work on my anger issues, but being submissive wasn't hard for me because I already understood the concept of marriage. Like, I knew this was what I wanted. So, and when you have a good man, trust me, it's not going to be hard for you to submit to him. So being submissive is very, very important in marriage. If you want your marriage to work, regardless who is earning the most money in marriage, because this part of the word, finances plays a huge role in marriage. So regardless of how much you make and how much he makes, if you are going to take his last name and be his wife, you have to love him, you have to be patient with him, you have to submit to him, and you have to respect him. Every man wants to be respected. Regardless if he's African, if he's American, white or black, all men loves respect. All men want a woman that's going to respect them. Trust me, the first year of marriage, I had a problem. To me, I didn't see it as being disrespectful. I will always say, oh, this is how I am. I don't want this, and I'm talking and I'm raising my voice. I made a whole lot of mistake. But with time, I got to understand, like, okay, why don't I let him and respect him? Why don't I let him, see things from his own angle? And trust me, most time we women, like, we grew up to have some certain things behind our head, but trust me, it's not always correct. Before you get married, you're like, you don't let the man control you. When he's talking, you want to always air out your own opinion. But really, it doesn't work that way. Two of you raising your voice, it's not going to work. There's a certain way you should treat the person you call your husband. That is all respect. Every man loves to be respected. And trust me, when I later understood that, oh, okay, Ada, you cannot raise your voice like that. Oh, Ada, you cannot hang up the phone on, These were all characters that I had gathered in the year before I got married. But trust me, after I was able to drop those characters and, respected my husband, the marriage started moving more smoother than it was moving before. There's less arguments. Your husband is your husband. He's your crown, he's your king. You have to give him that respect. So respect is compulsory in marriage. Number 8, oh my God, we have 2 more to go. Number 8, be ready to forgive. Yes, be ready to forgive. In my marriage, there's something we've done from the first year, and we still practice that till now, and it is helping us. You cannot go to bed angry. We practice that, and it has helped us so much. Like, you cannot go to bed angry. You cannot be angry for days. It cannot work. That's why when I see people that keep malice in their marriage 1 week, 2 weeks, I don't know how they do it. Because trust me, these little things might start up really small. Before you know, it escalates to something really big. And before you know, one person start talking to another person, and that person will just come and scatter the whole thing. So it's better you guys talk about it. Be ready to talk about it and be ready to forgive. We're all human beings. We are all going to make mistakes. I was raised different. My husband was raised different. And there are things I would do and it will be like, this girl no dey okay. And the things he would do, I'll be like, is this man okay? But be ready to forgive. That is marriage. Marriage is forgiveness. If you are that person, I used to be that person like, I cannot forgive you, never. But with time, for my marriage to work, I have to let some things go, So long as the person is sorry and they're ready to acknowledge. And when a person is sorry, now when somebody is sorry, but you cannot just hold heavy little thing and just you just burst because there are so many things that's in marriage. You're thinking about this, thinking about that, your finances. It's just too much to not hold on to one thing this person did, so be ready to forgive. As a man, be ready to forgive. As a woman, be ready to forgive. And that's going to help your marriage in the long run. Trust me, it's going to help you. Number 9, be ready to learn. Ooh. Before I got married, I used to think, that you're a chef, badass chef. You can cook, you are good with this. The Yoruba people say, Ile oko, ile eko. That's husband's house is where you learn. And it's true. I used to think I was a chef, I was a man. Yes, I can cook, even before I got married. But when I got married, my husband would be like, your food is spicy. It's just too much. I'll be like, the first year, I'll be like, this man just like complaining me. Because to me, it was okay. For my own taste buds, it was okay. Like, the food tastes good. But to him, it was like, you need to cut down on your spices and cut down on this and cut down on that. For the first year, I was like, this man just wants to complain. But with time, I adjusted and there was peace. That applies not just to cooking, but I'm using cooking for example because I was ready to learn. And when this person keeps complaining, I didn't just see it like, this man just wants to complain. That is marriage. You should be able to like, is there something this person is tasting? Because I was used to my own cooking, but now I'm cooking for somebody else. And what you should understand is, you cooking for yourself is different from you cooking for somebody else. You should be able to adjust, bring down your spices a little bit, bring down your salt a little bit, just to balance it up. So that balance was what I was willing to learn. But you as a woman, if you just feel, you feel offended, like, is he trying to insult me? Like I don't know how to cook? Trust me, you guys are just going to keep having that issue over and over and over again. So be ready to learn. There's nothing wrong in learning. Like, be open to learn. Don't always speak offenses. This is your husband. If he doesn't correct you inside the house, trust me, they will correct you outside. And that will be embarrassing. You don't want a visitor or a stranger to come and be like, this girl's food is too salty. To you, it might be good. But to a stranger, it's bad. So be willing to learn. Be open to learn new things, okay? Number 10, that is the last one. Oh my God. This video is going to be super long and I've talked for quite a bit. But this is number 10. Learn to live alone as soon as possible. Learn how to pay bills. Learn how to cook. Learn how to clean. Learn how to take care of yourself. As a young lady, as a young guy, you're planning of, you're going to get married soon. And you like the whole concept of getting married. Try to be independent. Try to start doing things on your own. When you've stayed alone and you are able to take care of some certain things, like pay 1 or 2 bills, you can go into the store, you see something you like, and you can bring out money from your own money that you've worked for and buy that thing for yourself. It feels good. Before you get married, you can take care of 1 or 2 bills in the house. All of that is training. You are training yourself. I mentioned I started life really early and I started taking care of myself at a very young age. So when I got married, paying bills, taking care of myself and taking care of the house, I didn't find it to be strange because it was something I was already used to doing. So as a young person, you're planning, before you get married, try doing some things for yourself. That is going to help you in the long run, because trust me, marriage is about paying bills. Marriage is about taking care of others. Marriage is about you taking care of yourself. You're not going to wait for your husband to come and take care of you all the time. You should learn how to take care of yourself. You should learn how to cook. Everybody should know how to cook. That is like basic survival skill. as a man, your wife is in labor, your wife is at work, she's not available, she's doing other things, you should be able to cook. Like, gone are the days when men will say, oh, I'm a man, I can't go into the kitchen. That is basic survival skill. Everybody should know how to cook. Like, you should be able to go into the kitchen, whip up something for yourself, for you and every other person to eat. There are days she's even tired. Apart from she being unavailable, there are days your wife might be tired and you should be able to cook. As a woman, learn how to make soups, stews, salad, do everything. Because you can't get married and it cannot be only Indomie. There are some ladies that I can make Indomie. Learn how to make meat pie. Learn how to make moi moi. Learn how to make akara. Learn how to make local dishes, because you don't know where you're going to end up tomorrow. And this person wants you to cook other things. You can't just be making rice and stew. You have to do other things. Marriage is a lot of work. And trust me, marriage works when you put in the work. It's not about, you have a good partner. Even if you have a good partner, you have to put in the work. Even if your partner is not so good, I wouldn't say bad, because everybody has their own challenges. People were raised differently. It might be a case of how that person was raised. That person must have been raised wrongly, and it just affects how the person think and see things. So you putting in the work in your marriage, trust me, it can work. The first 5 years of marriage tends to be the strongest, but trust me, with time, with patience, and all these points that I've given you guys, this 10, it seems like a lot, but trust me, it is worth putting into consideration. It is worth thinking about. So guys, this will be the end of this video. Share with your friends, your married friends, your friends that are planning to get into marriage. Just share with them and put comments down below. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you feel should have been on the list. I was only able to think of 10 and share that with you guys. But trust me, marriage is a beautiful thing. Don't let anybody tell you. And with the rates of divorce going about these days, it's scary, it's discouraging. But trust me, marriage is a beautiful thing. And say after me, my marriage will work. Because there's power in the tongue. And trust me, when you put in the work, it works for real. So guys, this will be the end of this video. If you enjoyed it and you want to see more marriage content like this, nobody is a pro, but we all learning every day, and these are things that I've learned, and I was like, let me share with you guys. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.